Welcome. Our purpose for today's presentation is to introduce teaming in the workplace. Our goal is to present both barriers and best practices to assist your company's leadership and employees with concepts regarding teaming for both face-to-face and virtual teams. Our team of narrators is Lauren Capsey, James Fox, Sarah Heberling, Amanda Tremaine, and Evan Underwood. Our presentation will begin by clarifying the definition of a team. A team is a small number of people with interdependent skills who share a common purpose, shared performance goals, as well as individual and mutual accountability to produce a collective work product. A true team accomplishes the desired performance goal by capitalizing on the power of their synergized talents, intelligence, creativity, skills, and abilities. Just because a group of people who work together is called a team does not mean that the group is truly functioning as a team. There are specific characteristics that separate a team from a group. Teams have shared leadership where all teammates are accountable to each other. However, a group has an identified leader or manager. This promotes the majority of the accountability to be given to the leader. During conflict within a team, all members of the team share a responsibility to collectively solve any issues, while conflict in a group is typically left for the manager to resolve. Furthermore, teams work together to accomplish their tasks while groups delegate tasks to complete individually. Therefore, the final product of a team is a collective work product that is the sum of the team's collaborative efforts. The final product of a group is the sum of each individual group member's work. Now that we have clearly defined team and compared the differences between a team and a group, I want to discuss the 5 characteristics of high-performing teams. Number 1, the team has a purpose that was generated by the team. 2, the team has set goals that are inspiring and measurable. 3, each teammate presents complementary skills for maximum collaboration. 4, the team works together to share the role of leadership and organize how the work will be completed. 5, the teammates trust that all other teammates will commit to accomplishing the shared performance goals.
Although teaming in person can usually be seen as easier than working in a virtual interface, face-to-face teaming has a few challenges associated with it, and that first big challenge is listening. It's very common for people to listen in order to respond, in lieu of listening in order to comprehend what the other person is saying to them. An example of this is where an employee is explaining an idea to another employee, but instead of comprehending the information, they instead interrupt or make statements about the idea. Additionally, if the employee is trying to explain an idea, had a thick accent, or speaks English as a second language, it can be difficult to listen through dialect differences. Lastly, individuals must be engaged in the conversation. In the fast-paced world we live in today, it's common for people to become distracted or disengaged purely by thinking about all the other things that they have to get done during their day. Since verbal communication isn't something that can be read or reviewed at a later date, unless it's recorded, of course, it's important for the team to be engaged to the person who is speaking. And listening ultimately requires consistent concentration and can cause significant problems later on if not addressed properly. After listening barriers, individuals within a team can have varying levels of knowledge, which can definitely make the team's job more difficult. Effective teams usually utilize individuals with diverse backgrounds, which can be pretty beneficial when it comes to sharing new ideas. However, most team members want to feel like they're contributing useful information and that their knowledge is valid to whatever project they're working on. The more diverse the team, the more difficult it can be to establish a common ground depending on the goal of the team. For example, a human resources staff member is less likely to know about accounting methods, and an accounting staff member is less likely to know about HIPAA violations. If each individual were to talk about the subject that they're experts in without much background explanation, this could cause some confusion amongst the team. Lastly, team members with more work experience could likely clash with new college graduates, and this could happen at any point, really, inside a team and outside a team. While both groups can bring a lot to the table, it's important to note that a difference in knowledge can easily happen in a diverse team. The last kind of barrier I'm going to talk about today for face-to-face teams is psychological safety. Psychological safety is arguably the most important barrier in face-to-face teams. Some workplace environments are rooted in fear, the fear of hierarchy, the fear of speaking up, or the fear of retaliation. Within a team, individuals can be scared to speak up, especially if someone within a higher rank in the organization is in the group. Micromanaging can be the cause of this kind of fear, where employees don't feel that they are trusted to do the right thing. If an employee is used to that kind of fear or lack of trust environment, this can lead to a lack of psychological safety within the team. Sometimes bold ideas can come from people that feel safe enough to make their opinion known. These bold ideas can sometimes be a viable solution to an issue when a team is brought together to solve it, which is why trust can be considered as the foundation of establishing psychological safety.
In getting started, I'd first like to cover some of the elements conducive to building high performing face to face teams. When people think of face to face teams, most of the time they can relate, but they often think about the challenges associated with working together. While these challenges can be overcome, there are a few things that need to be present for a team to be successful. These elements are a sense of psychological safety, speaking up, goal setting, and reflection. One of the critical components of high performing face to face teams is psychological safety. This safety is essential because it allows the members of a team to have a sense of security without the fear of retaliation for the expression of ideas. Not only does this give each member the opportunity to feel valued, it also allows for their maximum contribution to the overall efforts of the team. Speaking up also plays an important role. Not only does feedback contribute to the overall mission of the team, but it also allows frames to be changed that better enable success. Speaking up may also reassure those who are working collectively on a project and could potentially spawn off new, innovative ideas. Goal setting is another critical component of creating high performing teams. In setting goals, it gives the collective team a single focal point along with the motivation to accomplish a specific task. It also enables a sense of achievement to be had by all, and even more so when smaller goals are set along the way, giving a sense of fulfillment. Lastly, reflection is an element often overlooked. With most mindsets being forward focused, being able to reflect often proves beneficial in the form of learning from mistakes. This can help improve efficiency in the future and can change the methodology associated with completing similar projects. Lastly, in terms of building high performing face to face teams, framing plays an important role. Think of framing as a set of guides that enable a team to work within certain confines, helping it achieve its overall mission. Framing cannot be emphasized enough as it relates to defining the roles and the purpose of a team.
As we move on to the common barriers and obstacles for virtual teams, you may notice that many of the same components remain as were in the face-to-face challenges. However, they do manifest in different ways. The four main categories of challenges for virtual teams embody issues of psychological safety, communication, physical barriers, and cultural barriers. The main underlying factor is always that the organization as well as the team members must recognize the need to coordinate for the best possible outcomes. Any barriers commonly found in face-to-face teams become compounded in virtual teams. Two critical challenges of psychological safety and communication will affect any other issues that a virtual team may be dealing with during their teaming efforts. Psychological safety, as we discussed earlier, uses framing to cultivate trust, respect, and safety within the team. Psychological safety builds strong relationships, boosts individual and team energy, and ultimately results in optimal cohesiveness, collaboration, and teaming. Barriers to psychological safety usually include things that members are not doing. They're not taking the time to establish their trust, they're not speaking up, not giving feedback, not sharing their knowledge, or maybe they're just not feeling like they're part of the team. Members may be feeling disrespected or not included because of other barriers having to do with status, knowledge, or opinions. Leaders may also be sabotaging the psychological safety of a team by micromanaging, controlling communications, or pulling rank. This will disrupt the flow, the creative tension, and it'll ruin the environment in any team. Barriers in communication often include not having a clear vision, goal, or set conditions. People don't know who's on their team, and they don't know what the main work of the team really is. Organizationally speaking, the lack of a structured organizational support policy, a top-down communication policy, a standardized method of communication, and a lack of virtual collaboration training for team members remains a major hindrance to effective project teaming. Two final crucial barriers aggravated by the nature of virtual teams are physical and cultural barriers. Physical challenges emerge as normal patterns of in-person communication are impeded. Patterns of communication enhanced by energy, engagement, and explorations, such as gesture, posture, nonverbal cues, and facial expressions, are extremely important. A virtual team and their leader must overcome these physical modelings of behavior, as well as the basic structurelessness of remote teams, and they also must find a way to reinforce norms, rules, desired decorum, and effort in terms of established team vision and goals. Scheduling, timing, meetings, communication pathways, and structural functioning proves to be challenging because of the differing time zones and schedules across the globe. Cultural differences can also be a huge issue if not approached cautiously. Furthermore, virtual teaming is difficult due to language barriers and cultural norms, which affect direct versus indirect preferences, accents and fluency issues, differing perceptions of hierarchy and authority, and conflicting norms for decision making. Caution should always be used when interpreting communication around the globe. Specific phrases can prove offensive to certain cultures. More broadly, it's always challenging to explain a procedure in simpler terms while being careful to not cause insult to a recipient's intelligence or use wording that may be seen as insensitive, condescending, or inappropriate in different cultures.
When discussing the best practices in creating high-performing virtual teams, framing the purpose and vision of the team is extremely important to optimize the performance of virtual teams. People selected for the team should be able to help form the vision for the team. Indicating the significance of purpose and vision as they relate to virtual teams, who demonstrates the most renowned association of purpose and vision with high performance and accomplishment? An effective virtual team will have a purpose and vision that intrinsically motivates the team to work together to ultimately accomplish the desired goal. Trust and respect in each teammate and the team itself is necessary for the development of innovative ideas. A lack of trust slows teams' progress because trust is the necessary foundation for quality collaboration. Without meaningful collaboration and progressive ideas, a team is simply a group of people working alongside each other, producing individual performance results, not collective work products. Who is an excellent example of demonstrating the connection of trust and respect in optimizing performance and accomplishment? Efficient teams should have a solid foundation of trust and respect, which are two characteristics of psychologically safe environments. Highlighting additional best practices in creating high-performing virtual teams. Communication, defined by speaking, listening, contributing, discussing, and responding, remain one of the most critical factors in a high-performing virtual team. When discussing knowledge and skills within a team framework, it is essential for supporting the sharing of experience and letting everyone participate when sharing ideas. Relationship building can strengthen feelings of inclusiveness or a sense of belonging to teams and further foster cohesion, with cohesion being considered a vital group variable affecting performance and satisfaction of a virtual team. Active participation in the meetings and making sure that everyone got the opportunity to speak helps improve team communication. To be considered high performing, a team must develop a disciplined approach to virtual team management and a shared commitment to work effectively and successfully. Essential teamwork values of listening, practicing constructive criticism, providing support to each other, and sharing discipline and individual responsibility elevate a team to mutual accountability and psychological safety. Technology is a massive help when it comes to managing virtual teams. Make sure a team have the right set of tools to communicate and collaborate effectively from anywhere. Organizing with the right tools, determine what products and technologies the team will utilize and ensure those tools are ready to go. For example, do we use Google Suite, YouTube, the Canvas box for sharing folders, documents, ideas, or videos? What office products, such as an email platform or collaboration site to communicate, should a team use? These questions should be answered and accounted for prior to commencing the project. While it may seem counterintuitive at face value, it is critical to install a deviant within a virtual team. While this person is not there to raise anxiety among the members, they will help question the decisions of the team and require the members to reflect on important issues. Not only will this potentially uncover flaws in the decisions of the team, but will also encourage further dialogue among the members. This increased dialogue will further help take down barriers and enable the virtual team to become more cohesive despite the separation of its members.